But Steve, take us through what goes on now. What is the FBI doing in terms of this investigation into forensics? Congressman is telling us that 23rd and 27th has been cordoned off. What are the FBI looking for?
Well, right now what they're doing is they're going to do a comparative analysis of all the evidence to see if all this evidence is linked to each other. Right now, with those 5 individuals, no doubt they're grilling them. They're going to find out if there's more individuals involved. And as I said earlier, there was this real substantial feeling that this was not the act of one lone terrorist. This was the act of several terrorists. And to your point, Congresswoman, about why, because the question's been asked, why 23rd Street? Why 27th? Right. Why not the big crowds? There is a possibility that they are probing, that terrorists are probing. And how they probe is they plant the bomb somewhere, they look at the first responders, the routes they're taking, how many are showing up, what type of equipment is being brought in, and
so
then
this is
they
the first
go
of something
for the kill.
Yeah.
That's what might be going on.
One thing that the FBI is looking at is doing the kind of post-blast analysis on the device and then the pressure cooker that was also discovered. And it did include tannerite. This is something that you can readily buy at sporting goods stores in the United States. It's made with ammonium nitrate and aluminum powder, I think. And so you can easily put this together. And given the fact that it was a pressure cooker that was found at the second site, again, that goes to the Tsarnaev brothers. They used a pressure cooker in the Boston Marathon bombings. And so, again, and by the way, and the Islamic State offered an online how-to guide to make those IEDs. So they're putting all of that together.
The important thing that the FBI is doing right now, is there an international connection? Was there an execute order? Who else may be involved? Very important.
What I want to ask the Congresswoman, do you have any sense of whether this is homegrown, a few lone wolves, or whether there's a broader act here coming from overseas, from Islamic State or someone else?
What do we know?
Well, usually the Islamic State claims credit, and they're not. No one's claimed credit for this particular bombing. That's another unusual question that I have in my mind. But one thing that struck me is that on both sides of the street, the windows were blown out. And glass was everywhere. And there's a church on the street. The stained glass windows are ruined. So it is a serious, strong bomb. But no one's claiming credit. Why this area? But if you look at the recent attacks in Europe, they've gone to so-called soft spots. So maybe this is a change in their tactics to go away from iconic sites to lesser-known areas.
They've been doing more soft targets.
I suspect this is some kind of Islamic terror. The way you're describing it, it sounds like when you compare it to other acts that have happened on Times Square and such, it sounds like you think this is
No, I do not. I do not, because they usually claim credit. They usually claim credit. Even if they don't do it, they claim credit. They have not claimed credit for this.
That is odd.
The FBI is researching this. At this point, they do not see any connection to ISIS.
And that's what Governor Cuomo said yesterday. He's directed the FBI and the National Guard to increase security. He added 1,000 additional law enforcement officials to the New York City area, coming as world leaders are gathering in Manhattan this week for the UN General Assembly. Are you concerned about potential for attacks during this UN General Assembly? State leaders from around the world are here. The president is here today.
The timing of it also with this important meeting is questionable. We are on high alert in New York. There were police all over the place. They are getting very high marks from all the residents that they're
What do you want to
interacting
tell
with.
your constituents this morning?
I'm going to tell them that we have the best police force in the world and that we are doing everything we possibly can to protect them. That it's very difficult to really prevent these lone wolf attacks. Jimmy Clapper, the head of anti-terrorism for our country, has said it's one of the most difficult challenges that he faces. Since 9/11, there have been 20 attempts. We have thwarted all of them. One mistake or one slipping through is we've got to stop all of them. It's very difficult because we have to be right all the time. They just have to be right once.
Yeah. Do the people of New York and New Jersey deserve to hear that from the President of the United States?
They are hearing it from the FBI. They are hearing it from elected officials. And
Why do you think we haven't heard from Obama yet?
He's probably working on some very important situations for our country. Our
What's more important than terrorism in the U.S.? We're under attack. What's more important than that? What else could he be working on?
Putting the political...
What's more important than that?
Look, I know you have a tough job.
He was fundraising this weekend.
Right, that's right. He's working on important fundraising for Hillary Clinton. That's absolutely right.
Thank you for your service, but the people are fed up with answers like that. The President of the United States is the leader of this country. Look, my career is military. My career is law enforcement. I'm out on the streets. They want to hear the leader of the free world stand up and say, this is terrorism, and we're going to do what has to be done to knock it out. He hasn't said that. He's been silent this week.
He's had a campaign
part
rally.
of the whole anti-terrorism effort is a strong economy. And just last week, the Census Bureau came out with really strong evidence that the economy has improved in 3 key indicators, the best improvement in 30
but
years.
It doesn't answer
the
the question.
median income has gone up a staggering 5.3%. That's a raise of $2,800 for every American family.
And later on,
this will interest you. Later on Tuesday, we're having a report released by Alan Blinder, one of the most respected economists in the country, on a report that shows by practically every single measure since World War II, the economy has performed better under Democratic presidents over Republicans.
Congressman,
we got to go. We got to go because we're under hard break, unfortunately. But just to be clear, Congressman, just to be clear, people are not making more than they were in the 90s. So, yeah, we did have an increase in income, but no one's making any more than they were in the 90s. So we're still below where we were in the 90s. Congressman Carolyn Maloney, we will see you soon.
We're gaining jobs,
Thank
15
you.
million.
Back in a minute.